right, you bunch of yahoos, strap yourselves in for another episode of Dan and Don's Toxic Masculinity.
In other words, shut up, sit up, and pay attention. And welcome back to another episode of Toxic Masculinity, where I have my co-partner in crime, the other mustachio man that has graced the octagon cage, Don the Predator Frye, and yours truly, Dan to Severn. Today's guest there, we have Mr. Gary, am I going to pronounce it correctly? Rabine?
Perfect. Yes, you got it perfect,
Okay.
Don.
All right, good. I just but we're going to be talking to Gary about actually a number of different things. First off, would be the fact is that you are a self-made man. I mean, that's what that was one of the first things that caught my attention is that you didn't really jump into a family business. You actually started something on your own, and you made it work.
So my thing, Don, is I focus on dirty businesses and I make them sexy, dude. That's what I do for a living. So I've got our paving business, uses the best technology in the world. And we do a lot of our own engineering. We have some great engineers that build pavements that'll last longer than our competition in concrete or asphalt pavements, right? So we make a paving business pretty sexy because we're doing things nobody else is doing. And we've got some technology companies that we started that really are ancillary to our businesses, but we use drones. We fly drones everywhere in the world now, and we assess the condition of pavements and roofs like nobody else in the world. And that business is growing rapidly, but it's a lot of fun. Again, we focus on differentiation that makes us better, stronger, faster than any competitor in the world. And that's what we do constantly. So every business of our 13 businesses has a differentiator. Usually the differentiator is some type of technology, whether it's 3D technology or it's artificial intelligence. We do some of the coolest stuff. And it's because we network across the globe with the best minds in the world in every trade we're in. So every CEO I have, his job, his objective is to become a world-class company. Even if it's a $2 million company and they're competing in an industry of $100 million companies, their goal is to kick the crap out of all of them, right? And so as a competitive guy that I am, if we can't differentiate strong enough to be world-class within a short period of time, within 10 years, we're probably not going to be in that business. And right now we're world-class in 4 of our companies. They have no competition out of our 13 companies, and the other 9 companies are going to get there also. If they don't, we'll probably be selling them, right? But so again, it's easier today. You mentioned technology. If you use it for the right reasons, it's a blessing, right? If you're using it for porn, not such a blessing. It makes you a creepy dude, right? So again, so what do? We use technology to be the best in the world in many things. And today it's easier to do that than ever before, as you mentioned earlier. If you maximize your relationships with the world's best minds in technology and engineering in my industry, we take these dirty businesses, we make them sexy as heck. People love them.
Wow. You said you got four of your business right now that are at that world-class level that you're happy with right now.
Oh yeah, I'm happier than that. They're growing value like crazy. So our goal is to grow enterprise value on an annual basis. That's my CEO of every company has a goal of growing their enterprise value, right? Not so much do they make enough profit. They got to make profit, right? But they have to understand their industry, understand what creates value in that business, and their goal is to grow value. And once you hit that world-class status, your value grows exponentially, right? Because you're not just a commodity, right? And there's many companies out there, private equities and otherwise, that want to buy you. Now, we don't sell too many companies. We sold a couple. My goal is to continue to grow what we got and continue to be our own kind of private equities, but we don't sell too often, right? We only if the number gets so stupid high, then we sell, right? So we continue to grow these businesses.
Well, you sound like you're a pretty sharp guy there, Gary. To where you've got your various CEOs of these companies. Do they have what I call it the dangling carrot that they know that there's something that's in it for them, so that if they make this company really successful and stuff like that, they're a part of it and they receive good residuals off of it.
So they have some stock usually in the companies. They're percentage owners. Some of them are partners that are a couple percent. Some are 5%. Some are 49%. Okay, owners in the businesses. So depending on what their level of what fires them up the most. I have some that just want big salaries and big bonuses. I'm okay with that. There are going to be bigger bonuses than salaries probably, because I want them incentivized to kick butt, and I'm not just going to pay them big salaries. So, but my best leaders end up being owners and equity holders in the businesses they're running. Now they got skin in the game, and now they can grow some serious wealth if they can grow that business to being, the level that I expect them to be, right? And so it's a lot of fun. And all this stuff, right? I mean, you think about this, people say, oh, where'd you get this education, right? Well, you know what? I got my education from college at Hard Knocks by digging in, just like we did in wrestling, right? Getting my butt kicked for a while, understanding why I was getting my butt kicked, and then started kicking butt myself. It's the same thing in business, right? You're going to take your lumps. You hopefully don't take too many, and you hopefully learn from other people's mistakes. Same way you can with wrestling, right? Watch some good wrestlers, watch bad wrestlers get beat up, and say, okay, I'm not doing that, right? But either way, it's just like business, where if you dive into stuff and you just work your butt off, you're going to eventually figure out what caused you the most stress and what caused you the most success. And that's what we do in our businesses, right? But we also find mentors, just like you guys in what you've done in your life, right? You find mentors that are extremely good at what you want to be great at, and if you befriend them and you gain their confidence and trust, they're there for you too. And that's the other thing I'm big on is mentorship.
Yeah, no, I totally agree on the mentorship. I've got a number of older gentlemen that I keep referring back to on all occasions there right now. So there's a few things that are coming up here, even in the short term. Have you ever heard of the name Mike Chapman? Mike Chapman has written probably 16 or 18 books on the sport of amateur wrestling alone. He
Wow,
probably one of the biggest authors on the sport for quite a few years. He used to always be at the national tournament, and he would have a display set up with all of his different books and at the NCAA tournament typically. He's just a great guy that I ended up getting to know as a freshman at Arizona State University. Ended up writing several nice articles. I happened to meet him one time, and I just shook his hand and said thank you for things he done, and I've stayed in contact with him ever since that time frame to where now. I just received another email from him today, and he's talking about another documentary he's got coming out, because the guy's in his early 80s now himself. So he's got another documentary that's coming out. So he doesn't rest on his laurels. He's still working, still doing things, and but health is starting to decline a little bit there as well. So,
but Don, you know what? My best mentors that have been in my life are in their 80s and 90s, and they're still a blast to be around, because they're thinking 20 years ahead still. Okay, they're thinking 20 years ahead, and their minds are constantly working. And I'm very confident that exercising, just like your body parts, your muscle, right, your chest, your legs, your arms, just like exercise. No, you exercise your brain with challenges, right? And I guarantee you're going to live longer, live happier. People are going to want to be around you more too, right? So think about that buddy of yours you just mentioned, that mentor, like my mentors, right? My mentors are 90. I got a mentor I think about, it's 94 years old. You talk to him, you're excited to be around the guy, because he's talking like, in 20 years, here's what's going to happen. You better be ready for this, Rabine. And he'll talk about politics. He's spot on in politics. He's a strong conservative. He loves America, strong entrepreneur. And yet, like I said, his mind's constantly working way forward. And again, that's what I want to be, right? As I get older, I want to be the old guy that the young guys want to hang around with, so they can be inspired by my stories. And what does that mean? That means we're constantly adding value to life. Instead of being a detriment, we're adding value to life just by inspiring people to do things they might not do otherwise.
Yeah,
I got a question for you. If I can jump in here, y'all take a breather here.
Jump in, Don.
Fucking Illinois is really liberal, and but you have some gun companies there. How do the two mix when you have some of the worst gun laws in the country?
Well, you know what? I think if we have plenty of people that have a lot of backbone, like myself. We have a lot of guns. There's a lot of gun laws, but we still have concealed carry here, and we have a FOID card, which is stupid, but otherwise, like I said, you get through that, and we have a concealed carry. But I carry half the time, at least, depending on where I'm be for the day. And I shoot guns a lot. So yeah, I think no matter what, you can be in a left-wing crazy state like ours. That Constitution, if it works right, like if we let it continue to work right, protects us, doesn't it? And that's what we expect here. But yeah, we got some nuts. We got some nuts.
How come the gun companies continue to stay in the state of Illinois when you have, like I said, some of the worst laws in the country?
Don, I think overall some of them are stuck here. I'm like I said, I got 13 companies here in Illinois, and my CEOs that I spoke about earlier, most of them want to get the heck out of here. I'm sure those gun companies want to get out too, but I bet there's a market here for them, local market that they can dominate because they're here, right? So I think a lot of them stay because they can't afford to up and leave and buy a building somewhere else, maybe, right? Manufacturing, once you build it, is expensive to move. But guess what? We're getting so crazy. The state is getting so stupid with their high regulation. That's what I ran for governor because I was going to go after the stupid regulatory environment here and the stupid tax environment here. We're the highest in America on both those fronts. But again, what you said is the case. Those gun companies, they probably won't be here forever unless they just think they have to be because their market's here, their manufacturing's here.
How's their market there? I mean, when I was last couple of times I was in Illinois, I used to go there for the Godzilla convention because I made a Godzilla movie back in 2005. I was in a 50th anniversary Godzilla movie, in Japan. And even to touch a gun, you go into a gun store, just to look at a gun, you have to have a card.
Yeah.
That's obscene.
It sure is. It's ridiculous. And out in the counties, if you're in Cook County, it's really bad. If you get out where I'm at, McHenry County, we love our guns, and it's a little looser, but you still need that card, right, to pick up a gun and do whatever, right? So yeah, it's not the free country it's supposed to be in Illinois right now, and that's why I'm going to continue to fight this crazy Marxist movement we got.
Yeah, I like Texas. I mean, I think it's a beautiful state, and it doesn't have a state income tax. But in Arizona, we have the best gun laws in the country. Our gun laws are better than Texas gun laws. Last year they just caught up with us as to allow open carry. We've had open carry for 50 years. Now about 8 or 10 years ago, some nut shot some people up, and instead of handicapping us with more laws, we opened it up more and said, okay, listen, everybody can carry concealed without getting a concealed license. That way, because if people had a goddamn gun in their hand, this guy might not have whacked as many people.
That's right. You know what? Good guys with guns are a blessing. Bad guys with guns are going to be a lot worse if you don't have good guys with guns that are going to stop them, right?
Right. And I'll tell you what, bad guys are always going to get guns. I look at the idiot that ran people over, 2 nights ago. They were having some kind of geez, I blew this last night too. I couldn't come up with it last night. But
kind of a rally or
having a benefit. What?
Was it rally? Okay.
No, they were having like a GoFundMe type thing for somebody, and some idiot got in his car and ran over eight people. I mean, if you want to kill somebody, you're going to find a way to kill people.
Absolutely. Yeah. Bad guys are always going to get guns because there's going to be plenty of people selling them if good guys can't get them. So we've got it.
Your guy sold some of our guns over in Mexico, a decade ago, and ended up killing a couple of our Border Patrol agents. So shit, even who's the people who are supposed to be honest and running the government are selling guns.
Absolutely. No, there's bad people everywhere. And unfortunately, we've got a lot of socialist-minded, Marxist-minded people right now that are out to ruin our country. And that Constitution, that Second Amendment, means a heck of a lot. We got to make sure that we fight hard to keep it and make it stronger.
What drew you to
important. That's
politics
the
in the
most
first
important.
place there, Gary?
What drew me in
What-
politics? You know what? I
Yeah.
lost my wife here almost 2 years ago, and of brain cancer. She was an amazing woman. You know, she taught me a lot, but you know, she taught me faith, and she basically there's a plan. Every person's got their plan that God has for them, and you know, she left this earth, but she inspired a lot of people to get closer to God before she left. And for me, I'm bothered about what we've been talking about. I'm bothered that we have billionaires, some of the richest people in the world are trying to make us a socialist communist country. Okay, this Marxist movement is going to ruin our country. It's going to ruin the world. Okay, because we're the beacon that other countries look forward to.
Yes.
That you know, there's lots of countries that have built their own type of constitution since we did, and some of them fairly successful. None of them as successful as us, but all these countries became a freer country. Okay, when they organized us to be a socialist communist country like they're trying to do, that bright light dulls to nothing, and this beacon is gone, and the world becomes a very dark place. I want to make sure that my kids, I've got 3 grandkids. I got Lincoln, Sienna, Raphael. I'm with them out here today. And I want to make sure that they live in a free country as we did. And I'll be pissed. I'll be really sick if I'm looking down from heaven and I see my grandkids live in a communist environment that these son of a guns want them to live in.
Well, that's the thing. You know, the reason why these new constitutions, they don't have a Second Amendment. You know,
no, you're right.
And that's where they went wrong. That's where they failed their people.
Yes, you're exactly right. That's the biggest thing they're missing.
Let's go back a little bit to talk about how you started up your businesses. You said you were grading driveways at young age, you know, for when you were a kid. And I know a little bit of said you were doing like $4 an hour from your dad, and someone offered you like $1 more to help them out during the summer.
That's right. Yeah, $5 more an hour. I said, I'll take it. And whenever my dad didn't need me, I was working for that guy.
Yeah.
And
so you just telling from after that, you said you finally got up to your first Bobcat, and then where'd you go from there?
Yeah, no, well, so you know, it's funny, but when I graduated high school, I was around a study hall class, and my podcast will talk about this. It's called Ditch Digger CEO for a reason. I was in study hall class, and my buddies, football players, wrestlers, they're all talking about what colleges they're going to. And one of my smart ass buddies says, Rabine, so where are you going to college? I say smart ass because he knew I wasn't going to college. He knew me well. And I said, Al, I'm not going to college. I'm gonna either do paving or I'm gonna do landscaping. I'm gonna figure out how to start my own business. And he goes, so you're gonna be a ditch digger, Rabine? And he says, the world needs ditch diggers, Rabine. And so I'll never forget the feeling of that. And then he actually, loudly said to the whole study hall class, he says, so Rabine's going to be a ditch digger, right? Loudly, so everybody could hear. And either way, right. I didn't think anything was wrong with being a ditch digger, but, he was trying to belittle me because everybody else was going to college. And, I knew for sure that I knew how to make money. I knew that I had a passion for this industry. And it's worked out pretty good. So I mean, I like to be a proponent for kids that aren't really built for a college education, right? There's many out there that are pushed to go to college. Sometimes they don't finish. Sometimes they get a degree they pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for that does nothing for them, right? We'll hire 100, 150 people in the next year in my companies, and we don't care what your education is. I mean, if you're going to be an attorney for us or something, or a accountant, yeah, of course, we want to make sure you got a CPA or a law degree, or whatever. But overall, most people in our business, we don't even ask. We want to know what their experience is. We want to know how passionate they are, and can they live by our core values, right? They can do that. We do well. So yeah, so started with basically nothing, and today we're the biggest in the country at what we do.
Thank you for watching another episode of Dan and Don's Toxic Masculinity. You better like, subscribe, and share, or I'm going to come to your house.